All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This is going to be a video warning all the women, man. Right, all the women that have got husbands, man. Right, they've got men that are about the scriptures, man, and they know that their man's about the scriptures. Right, this is going to be a warning to all of you women out there, man, because a lot of you, man, and this is something that I'm perceiving, man. A lot of you think that your man, your husband, is lying to you, man. All right, you think he don't know what he's talking about. You secretly think he don't really know what he's talking about. He ain't really about the scriptures, and you're secretly scoffing him because you're in the same house with him, right? You're able to know what he makes for a living and all that, what he does for his job. You might know your husband's real name. Well, of course you know your husband's real name, right? But you know that he probably calls himself another name, right? When teaching or whatever, right? And you're scoffing him and you're saying what you're mocking him really and he don't know that you are mocking him, right? And this is something that I perceive, man, and it's coming to me by the scriptures, what the scriptures say, because the scriptures say this, and I'm gonna show it, man, right? I'm gonna show what the scriptures say right now. This is Micah chapter 7 and verse 8. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. Now, when I carry on reading, we're gonna find out who that enemy is. All right. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, Yahweh shall be a light unto me. All right. So the certain men that believe in the Lord, man, that are in times of darkness right now, right? And a lot of you women have dated them, right? And you mocked them. You probably committed adultery on some of them, right? You was bunning them out. You was cussing them out, right? A lot of you women dated these men, man, and you made their lives hell while they was dating on you. And when you started realizing that they was trying to become righteous, you switched up and you mocked them, man, right? And some of you women are still with these men, and you're secretly laughing and mocking at them, man, right? But because he's providing some kind of things that you can gain advantage from, you're still being cordial around him, man, but secretly you've got your eye out there watching on other men, man. And this is just something that I perceive is happening out there, man. Right, and I'm speaking on it, man. Right, you're doing these things, and you're thinking that Yahweh ain't watching because you don't really believe that the Lord exists. Right, you don't really believe that the Lord exists, man, because women ain't really righteous, man. Women ain't really got such things as honor, right? And where's the proof on that? Well, the divorce rate in every single country in the world is high, right? The divorce rate in the terms of places in the West are high. And it's women that are the ones breaking those contracts. When, if I'm not mistaken, those vows that you take before that wedding say till death do us part. So there shouldn't be no such thing as no divorce rate, according to those vows that you people take, right? But carrying on in this, man. Verse 9, I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against him. So all the men that you women are with, they're like, well, I don't really deserve a woman to be on my side right now anyway, because I sinned against the Lord. So I'm gonna deal with that, right? Because I have sinned against him until he plead my cause. Right? So we're calm, right? Them men are calm now up to a certain point, man. Right? Because the things that they're expected to happen have not happened in completion yet. Right? Until he plead my cause. I'll read at verse 9 again. I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against him until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. So the time's going to come where every single thing that your women's men said to you, right, happens, man, right? There's going to be a time where all the things that they said happen. And when those things happen, those men that you looked at, right, and thought that you was equal to, if not, in some cases, that you thought you was better than them, and you know what I'm talking about. All you women out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about, man. Those evil thoughts that you had in your head, where you was eyeing up other geezers, and you was planning on trying to commit adultery on your husbands, man, right? All you women out there that have did this, man, and you know, if you're listening to this and you're one of those women, you know exactly what's being spoken about, man. You know what you've did, right? You all know it, all you women out there, you know what you did, man, right? And this ain't no personal thing from my own life that I'm talking about, neither, before somebody wants to try and say that, right? But even if it was, and it's true, it would still be true for everyone else if that was the case, but it's not the case. This is me speaking, Lord will, in the spirit, man, about this, right? All you women out there, you're going to get judgment, right? You're going to get judgment. And when your husbands change and receive all the things that they were supposed to be speaking. This is what I'm about to read right now. Is going to be you. Verse 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? Right? Because a lot of you have been saying it, maybe sometimes openly, and sometimes in your heart you've been saying it. Man, he's been talking this Bible stuff for a long time, and it still ain't happened yet. I've been with him this amount of time, I've been with him that amount of time, and he's changed up too much. Where's that Bible stuff that he was talking? It ain't happened yet. And some of you have been saying that in your mind, man. Right? And then you've been blaming him for why you ain't in certain places and ain't got certain things in your life that you want to have, right? And you've been blaming your husbands, man, right? The Lord's going to get you, man, and you're going to see all the things that your husband was telling you. You're going to see them all come to pass, man. And a lot of you women dated the apostles of Great Millstone. You probably was wives of them, and you was scoffing them, man, and mocking them. But when that thing came in 2020, a lot of you switched up and probably tried to get back in contact with them, man. And a lot of women tried to probably get in contact with loads of other men that they used to date, that they knew about these things. But them men, when it goes down, they ain't gonna want your ass, man. They're not gonna want you, and you're gonna see the things that they was speaking about when they was with you, when you had access to receive them, and you rejected it, man. Verse 10 again, then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now she shall be trodden down as the mire of the street. So some men are going to see you women in that day, man. And you're going to see them. But here's the state that you're going to see them men in, right? This is the state that you're going to see those men that you used to be with in, right? Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than a golden wedge of Ophir. So you're going to see those men that you used to date being more valuable than gold in that day, man. They're going to have all the answers to every single thing that's going on. When men that are of this world right now are scared and timid, those men that you once rejected, right, are going to be shining stars in that time, man. And you're going to be out there looking stupid. And when that time comes, there's not going to be no mercy for you, right? There's not going to be no mercy. You're going to be, the men are going to behold you. They're going to see you, but you're going to be trodden down as the mire of the streets in that day. Because just like how you rejected them, they're going to reject you. And like I said before, people can think I'm talking about some personal thing from my own life if they want to, right? If it's true, it's true, right? If it's true, man. And eventually, every single prophecy in the Bible is going to be personal to every single person in the world, man, right? Yahweh's going to personally make the plagues visit and test every single person to see whether they are or not of the elect, man, right? But people, like I said, man, people can think it's me. I'm speaking this because this is true, man. That this is what's going to be happening to some of you evil women out there, man. Some of you evil women that think that you know what you're talking about and that you think that you know more than the men that you was with, and the men that you are with. A lot of you, you think that you know more than them, man, and you're secretly scoffing and mocking them when you're hearing them say things, man. You're laughing at them. You're thinking that they don't know what they're talking about, right? You're mocking them, and you know that you're doing it too, man. Some of you, I'll be hearing some videos some of the time, and I'll be hearing that women are coming up in the room when their husband's teaching. I'm thinking, why are you doing that for, man? What's your problem? Why are you coming in the room disturbing it for, man? Being nosy, man. And some of you are going to get served up when Yahweh really makes things go down, man. And you know what I'm talking about, man. And men out there will know what I'm talking about too. And that's the main ones that it matters for, man. Them women that you're with, a lot of them are going to get jacked up, man. And that goes for every single man that's a Hebrew Israelite, man. A lot of them women that men are with are going to receive extreme judgments in the time to come, man. Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Now, this is one of the things that those women out there that are our enemies are going to see. Because the last thing that a woman that's rejected a man ever wants to see is loads of other women now lusting after that man and wanting that man. That's the last thing that women want to see, especially wicked ones. That's the last thing they want to see. The last thing a woman ever wants to see is for her to reject a man. And then women that are better than her, especially physically, to now be into that guy. That's the thing that they hate the most, man. That's one of a woman's things that they hate the most, especially if that woman happens to be a virtuous woman, man. Women hate a virtuous woman. That's especially if that woman is more beautiful than them. And that's coming straight from the scriptures. The scriptures say that. And if I'm not even going to get it, man. You can look it up for yourself if you don't believe me. Look it up for yourself. Does the Bible say that a delicate woman is hated by a harlot? You look that up and see for yourself, right? Verse 1, Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1 again. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. In that day when that happens, right, those same women that are men's enemies right now are going to see that, and certain women that were scoffers are going to see it too, that wasn't with these men. Certain women that were scoffers, asking about personal questions instead of trying to ask about questions to do with the Bible, right? They're asking personal questions on men's lives instead of trying to get the doctrine of the Bible that they can't get just on an everyday basis from a one-to-one or from a personal, they can't get it, man. They can't get an access to be able to ask any question that they want to ask regarding the Bible, but instead they want to ask questions about men's personal lives, man. A lot of you women are part of these enemies too that are going to see this, and some of you are going to actually have the nerve to try and run up and try and think that you can try and get some mercy, man, and it's not going to be there. And I'm not sorry to tell you that it's not going to be there when this time comes. Micah chapter 7 and verse 10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now she shall be trodden down as the mire in the streets. Right? And you women might say, oh, well, there's other men anyway, besides you lot. There's other men. There's other men in the world anyway. Yeah, there is other men. But guess what's going to be happening to these men? The men that you women have, right? The men that you women have that have made you comfortable to be as evil and wicked as you are right now. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 25, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. So some of the men that will protect you women and have allowed you women to be wicked as you are now, Esau in particular, right? And all these simps that are every day walking the streets, they've allowed you women to be overboard and flamboyantly wicked, right? But those men are going to die. Those men have been marked for the sword, man. Those men are going to be joining onto wars and lose their lives in those wars, man. And it's not going to be nothing nice. And when that happens, all the people that was protecting women's wickedness are not going to be present, man. And all the men that are scumbags and that are treacherous and have got spirits of vengeance on them, right, are going to be free to roam and do whatever they want to do. And the men that are righteous are not going to be protecting the women that are wicked, because they're going to understand that through the Spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, this is those women's judgment, man. No one's going to be able to stop somebody from receiving judgment that's supposed to receive judgment. And what happens if you do try and stop somebody receiving judgment that's supposed to receive judgment? Well, you'll get judgment too, right? It wouldn't even matter if we hold hands with you people and try and tell you it's going to be all right. It don't matter, right? It don't matter, man. Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So even if we was to hold your people's hands and tell you, oh, dear, it's going to be okay, babes. It's not going to be okay, babes. It's going to be dark. It's going to be dark, man. And not dark and comely. Dark and horrid. The day of the Lord is going to be for everybody that's not of the elect, man. Everyone's pride is going to be completely eviscerated in that day, man. There's not going to be nothing nice happening in the day of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Nothing nice, man. Unless you're righteous, unless you're of the elect. And even people that are of the elect are going to be terrified of the day that's coming, man. Because they're going to be tested and they don't know if they're of the elect. They believe they are and they hope that they are. I'm not even going to say they believe they are. They hope that they are. But if they're not, then they'll get destroyed too. Anybody that's not of the elect isn't making it through this day on a beneficial way. And anybody that does make it and that's still alive after everything's took place, that doesn't get beamed up in the chariots, well, they're going to be some of the first batch of captivity then. So they're going to get the first portion of the anger of those newly changed Israelites, man, which I feel, man, I ain't even going to say I feel sorry for them, but it's not going to be nothing nice that's going to happen to those people neither, man. All these women that men have dated in the past and not been with or whatever, that they've had as their wives and all of this, them women are going to be judged, man. All those women that you brothers have been with, right, that try to play for some kind of fallout here, they're going to get jacked up, man. Watch. And you already know it anyway, right? You already know it anyway, so you don't even need me to tell you, man. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. The daughters shall mourn, having no helper. So there's not going to be a simp around no more. There's not going to be no male feminists around. There's not going to be no social justice warriors. And in the time that's coming, those simps are going to show their true colors, man. Because there ain't going to be no laws where these men have to simp to try and do to you women what they're really intended to do anyway. All the men that are around you, women simping and trying to make out like your bugged out ideas make any sense. You're going to find out what those people's true natures are, man, towards you. Right? You ain't going to have no helpers. You ain't going to have no husbands. You're going to have no bridegrooms in that day. You ain't going to have no helpers, man. In the verse 34, in the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. And what's going to happen to those helpers? But they're going to be doing whatever they want to do, man. They're going to be showing their real nature, man. A lot of them are going to be showing their real nature. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So there's going to be a time where people don't need to put on that facade of being a nice, kind person anymore. And the people that was speaking things straight up as they see it, that was always called as evil and wicked. What I'm talking about is the Israelites that are the only people in the world that really speak the truth 100%, man. They speak the truth and call things as they see it, straight down the middle, man. Everybody else speaks things to a certain portion of the truth because they still want this society to continue on because they've got benefits from this place, man. They've got things that they have got attachments to in this place. So they don't want this place to completely fall down. You see? They couldn't cope with this place falling down and being destroyed for real. You know? They couldn't deal with that. Verse 16 again, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So all you women, that goes into mainly women, man. Women are the main ones that like to gallivant and go all these places. And there's a trend out here now of men asking women to name 3 countries. And a lot of you women can't even name 3 countries, man, because you're retarded, man. Right? You can't name 3 countries when you live in one country. So you should be able to name at least one. But some of y'all can't even name in one country, even though you live in one. And even though there might be at least 2 or 3 countries that are surrounding your country, man. But then you're always talking about how you like to travel and all of this when you're flapping your gums and talking smack on all these different platforms that you be running your gums on, man. All you women, types of women, are going to get judged too, man. And you can think it's a game and say, who's this random geezer talking smack? Well, I'm saying it because the Lord said it, man. I'm saying it because the Lord's making me say this. Because it's true. Women, when everything goes bad and the world turns dark, are going to be really humble in that day, man. But some of that humility is not going to be accepted because people are going to know that it's fake, man. Because when the world was benefiting you and you was having the power to be trying to get able to have the world how you want it to be and have your opinion matter, you didn't care about what men had to say. So when the world goes to a way that men are able to win, men ain't going to care what you've got to say, right? And the time that's coming, the men that's going to matter the most are the men that believe in Yahweh and the men that believe in Yahweh Shai and the men that believe in his prophecies, which is the spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy, as the scriptures say. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. And that goes into men's pride too. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And if men are going to be afraid, how much more women? There's never been a time where men are scared of things and then women stand up and now they're the warriors. That don't happen, man. It might happen in a movie, but it don't happen in real life. It don't happen in real life, man. And all those women that get on platforms having interviews talking about women are this, women are that, well, you're going to have the chance to prove that. All those women that think that men and women are equal, you're going to have the chance to prove that in every shape and manner of form, man. You're going to get to prove that men and women are physically as equal as you try and say. You're going to get to prove it, man. How I might set up a bare knuckle fight between you and a man of the same size. And you're going to get to show your techniques, man. You're going to get to show what your double jab's looking like, you know? You're going to get to show if you got that ground game. You're going to get to show whether you got a mean leg kick, a low leg kick. You're going to get to show all of that, man. And even the men that are tough guys, that tough guy spirit ain't even going to work for men because the Lord's against that, man. Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might, let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord, which execute loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 23 to verse 24, man. When it goes bad, you women are going to get jacked up, man. And I'm talking about the women that are with men that they're scoffing about them secretly, man. Thinking that the man don't know what he's talking about. Bunning him out. Talking smack, man. I'm talking about all you women in particular. Because you're some of those women that are the enemies that are going to be seeing it and beholding it, man. Some of you might have dated men that have been teaching for triple decades, man. And you've gone moved on with your life. You thought that because you bought a house and that guy, you haven't seen him buy a house. You thought, yeah, see, he didn't know. I knew he didn't know what he was talking about, girl. I knew he was wrong. He been wrong, yeah? And you was thinking that he didn't know what he's talking about. But when that world got locked down for a portion of time, then you started getting shook and tried to call him up and message him. Oh, this is just a message to just let you know that I'm just trying to check and see if you're okay because everything's going a bit bad, isn't it? No, you was trying to be slick and trying to leave the door open so that he can try and slide back with you, man. Having the damn nerve to not come groveling like you're supposed to be, man. To not come groveling. Some of you women are going to be trying to come groveling, and even that ain't going to be accepted, man. Because men have realized that the land's done been defiled after he left. And he don't want to come back to that defiled land, man. To your defiled lands. That's what's going to be happening to you women, man. And you can think that this is some emotional rant, and it's just a random babblings of a guy that doesn't know what he's talking about if you want to, man. Or you can see if I've been reading Bible verses and if these are prophecies that are going to come to pass. And if you're smart, you'll fix up. But if you're stupid, then you'll still start scoffing, man, and get destroyed, man. The destruction that I'm reading about right now. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with a sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Now, wherever there's fun times at, wherever there's a nice meal to be ate, wherever there's a hot dinner going somewhere, wherever there's some nice wine and delicacies and tenderness, you'll always find beautiful women in those places, man. So all these places where there's men that have got all these things, stacking up things and all of that, you know that there's some woman there feeding off all of that. But you're going to be in those same houses that men are going to be destroying with the sword because there's a lack of bread in their home. So they're going to come to where there is food. And where those places where there is food, there's definitely going to be women in those places. So you women are not going to escape the judgment that Yahweh wants you to face, man. As if we're really going back to the beginning of time, women are to blame for all of this because it was Eve that sinned first and didn't want to sin alone, so she caused Adam to sin too. So how about that? Women are running around blaming men these days, but how about we go back to the root of that and see that it was women that caused it? But then you'll say, nah, well, Adam shouldn't have listened. Well, men shouldn't have listened to you women's random bamblings now. Because that's what's caused the world to get destroyed, man. And it's what's going to cause the world to get destroyed. And in the kingdom of heaven, men ain't going to be listening to anything that women have got to say. And all of our women of Israel are going to be righteous anyway. And they're going to know the order of things. But for now, all you wicked Israelite women are going to have to get that heavenly smackdown, man. Of getting jacked up. That for being wicked. It's going to have to come to pass, man. It has to come to pass before we get that kingdom. It has to. Not it might, not maybe, perhaps. No, it has to happen. It has to, man. It has to happen. So for you women, get in line, man. Right. Get in line and stop scoffing. Amos chapter 5 verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. So for all you Christian women out there that you think you know something and you think you're deep, I know my God. I love God. I know my God. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. All of y'all, man. You can't tell me that. I know my relationship with the Messiah and all that. You think that you just know something. You think that because you went to church and you hand out the tithes and your vicars gave you, or your pastors gave you the chance to go up on stage and sing, and he might give you a 5 minute segment in the congregation to spew your madness, and you might pull out one Bible verse and then start spewing out your mouth, and not according to the scriptures either, and you think that you're deep, right? All you women, man, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on a wall and a serpent bit him. So you women can't even handle seeing a pub fight, man, where you ain't even the target of the violence. You women can't even handle that. And I'm supposed to believe that you can handle the day of Yahweh? No, I don't believe that, man. You women are not going to be able to handle the day of Yahweh. You're not going to be able to, right? I'm saying it straight up. You women are not going to be able to handle the things that's coming upon this earth. You're not going to be able to handle them, man. The day that's coming is going to shake you down and really show that you ain't as beautiful as men thought you was, because all that weave's going to be torn out your heads, right? All that fake makeup foundation to make your skin seem like it's all of the same tone, that's going to be cast away too. All the push-up bras, that's going to be cast away. All you women that can't even sit down on a seat because you've had a BBL and you can't even use your glutes for one of the purposes that they've been made for, to be able to sit down on them, which is why it's one of the biggest muscles in the in fact, excuse me, it is the biggest muscle on the human body, and that's for a reason. We can sit down on it. It stabilizes the body, right? But you women are going around tampering with it, yeah, injecting it with things and all of that on some madness just so that it can look bigger, and it looks stupid anyway, and don't blend in with none of the rest of your body. All body parts of a human are supposed to be the same age. You ain't supposed to have glutes that was made in 2022, but you're 35 years old. That's stupid. Verse 20, shall not the day of Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? So it ain't going to be no fun times for women out here. They're going to be looking not nice, man, in the time to come. Right now, they can get away. They still look good and all that. They smell nice. But they're going to be stinking, man. Men are going to be stinking too. But women are going to be stinking. Whereas right now, women have got all manner of access to all types of things to look completely different to what they look, man. Some of you women look like Freddy Krueger when you take the makeup off, man. And I'm not trying to be funny neither. I'm speaking it straight down the middle. Some of you women look like movie villains, man, when you take that makeup off. But when you put that makeup on, you're able to damn near become a different ethnicity, looking like a damn near different ethnicity when you put that makeup on, man. And that goes for all you women on that statement. Witchcraft. But I'm not going to even try and say no more, man. I said what I needed to say, man. All you women out there that have got husbands that are men that believe in Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai, man, and you're scoffing about them secretly, Yahweh's been watching you, man. And he's going to make you, a lot of you women, see him change up, man, and receive everything that he was supposed to see. You're going to see him be slowly getting transformed into a king right in front of your face, man. And you ain't going to be joined on with him, man. You ain't going to be joined on with him in that chariot, man. You're going to stay down here. Some of you are going to live to see that whole process take place, because some of you are going to try and be humble when he sees things start going down, and you're going to be made to be following these men, right? You're going to be made to be following these men all through the journey of them receiving the change up, man. And you're going to see them getting praises from women. You're going to see women that look more beautiful you than you in some cases start being following these men and being humble and meek and not asking for all that and things that you was asking for from that man. Not giving him a hard time, being humble, man, right? And you're going to be trying to think, oh, I'm going to get treated better than all of these wives because I knew him before he was like this. But what you don't realize is that Yahweh's not even going to be making a lot of you women be joined onto this, man. You're getting ready to get purged out, man, because Yahweh hasn't going to have been able to accept of you for all the scoffing that you did about to your men, man. Just like how he punished Miriam when she came at Moses, but he didn't punish Aaron like that. He punished the woman. He viewed her talking of her gums more highly than Aaron doing it. He had more anger towards Miriam, man. Micah chapter 7 and verse 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, Where is Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now she shall be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And people, again, man, think it's a game if you want to. And think, man, who's this guy? I don't know this guy from nowhere. He don't know what he's talking about. Think it's true. Think that if you want to. But is what I'm saying true? Is what I'm saying coming out of the Bible? Can the things that I've said today be found in Bible verses? Or am I just spewing out my own mouth? You be the judge on that, man. On that point, I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to all the men, women, and children that are going to be humble and repent, man. Shalom to all of the elect to the nation of Israel that are going to repent. Shalom.